What is up, everybody? I am Mason from the Mockbuster YouTube channel, and today we are going to be talking about the 5 horror movies you can watch with your family this Halloween. So, Halloween's approaching. We are in the midst of October. It is spooky season. The leaves are falling. It is turning red. Depending on where you're at, the air is getting a bit cold, and you're feeding for some of that spooky horror action. But, sometimes you want to spend time with your family as well. Some people take the days off, upcoming, some people don't, but you take out the time out of your day or night or whatever to sit down with your family and to watch some spooky goodness. If you're not like that, maybe you can watch Halloween Town, Halloween Town 2, Goosebumps, that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about scary movies. If you want to get into the spooky mood, these are the 5 movies that you can watch with your entire family. So to preface, there will be killing, there will be swearing, but I feel like the biggest one is that there is no sexual content. There's no sex scenes. There's slight nudity and slight sexual innuendo, but that's life. Come on, get real. But there's no hardcore sex scenes. Like there's not, like in Halloween, in Friday the 13th, there's a lot of sex and stuff like that. So this is gonna stray far away from that. These are just spooky movies that you can watch with your family that you won't be super awkward with. Now, number 5 is Sinister. Sinister is a story about a true crime writer who is in a slump. He hasn't had a bestseller in more than 10 years and is becoming increasingly desperate for a hit. So, when he discovers the existence of a snuff film showing the deaths of a family, he vows to solve the mystery. He moves his own family into the victim's house and gets to work. However, when old film footage and other clues hint at the presence of a supernatural force, this man learns that living in this house may be fatal. Now, this is a more modern film. It came out within the 2010s, and it's actually a really great film. It's pretty scary. It has really good atmosphere. It's very spooky. It's not like one of those crazy boom, pa, boom, pa, boom, like with jump scares. There is jump scares, obviously. A lot of movies, a lot of horror movies have jump scares, but it's great because it's eerie and it's creepy, and the hairs in your back of your neck stand up. To preface, there is murder. There is, I don't want to spoil it, but the film, the snuff films that he does watch is of kids murdering their parents. So if that is a bit too much for you, it's not super graphic to the point, but they are showing that type of seriousness. And, for a horror film, you're going to have to push the edge when it comes to those type of subject matters. So if that's not yours, then skip that. But this is a great horror film to watch. It's not as... When it comes to those type of possession films and that kind of stuff, it's pretty tame to modern day standards, at least to The Exorcist, where you have 10-year-old girls using religious symbols as fellatios and self-pleasuring items, but that's not here nor there. That is my 5th pick. So my number 4 pick is the It remake that came out in 2017. If you're watching with your kids and they're a bit older, 12, 13, 14, 15, they're gonna love this movie because the main characters are in middle school, a little early high school, I believe, and they're basically the heroes of the story. So, It. In the summer of 1989, a group of bully kids band together to destroy a shape-shifting monster which disguises itself as a clown and preys on the children of Derry, their small town in Maine. So again, if you guys are a bit squeamish to suggestions of child murder or seeing child murder in general, you may want to steer away from it. But if you've read It, the actual Stephen King novel, it is very tame towards the actual subject material because, let's say there are very questionable scenes that a certain character makes right before the end of the first part of the film when they're kids. But that's not in this film. So if you parents read It in high school when you were younger and you remember that scene in the alleyway or in the... what's it called? The gutter section, whatever. That is not in the movie. So don't worry. You're not going to see group sex and orgies in this child film, okay? So obviously it's still, again, a horror film. You're still going to see death. You're still going to see dismemberment and some swearing, but there's no sex. There's no nudity. There's no You know, like, it's not a Rob Zombie film, okay? It's it's pretty tame. And it's a good scary movie. Like, for being a modern day horror film, it's actually really well done. But in my opinion, it's better than the miniseries, the 3-hour miniseries with Tim Curry, but that's up to opinion. That's basically whoever's preference. This one's more scary, the It remakes, but just the first one you should be good with. Now, next is another supernatural film, and it is The Omen. The Omen's about a man named Robert. A married man agrees to switch his wife's stillborn baby with an orphaned infant, but as the child grows, a sinister series of events start taking place. Now, this is a classic film. If you guys haven't seen it, this is one of the best supernatural type films, in my opinion, up there with The Exorcist, but it does not have that crudity of The Exorcist. It is very scary. It has a lot of tension, a lot of really good scenes. So if you're up for a horror movie and if you're up for a scare, The Omen is a great film. If you have it, if you can find it on streaming services, or if you can get the Blu-ray, even better, because it is an older film and it looks amazing in modern day remastering. So if you want to check out The Omen, I highly suggest it, and that is my third pick. Now, my second pick is, I actually have it right here. It is John Carpenter's The Thing. John Carpenter, who made Halloween. It's a great movie. It's less horror, more like kind of slashery, alien type. Like, you're gonna see death, you're gonna see a lot of great work. There is eerie scenes, there's great music in it. It's not as scary as the ones mentioned down below, but it is good enough for your spooky season, and it is a horror film. So, The Thing. In remote Antarctica, a group of American research scientists are disturbed at their base camp by a helicopter shooting at a sled dog. When they take a look at the dog, it brutally attacks both human beings and canines in the camp. And they discover that the beast can assume the shape of its victims. A resourceful helicopter pilot, played by Kurt Russell, and the camp doctor, played by Richard Dysart, lead the camp crew in a desperate, gory battle against the vicious creature before it picks them all off one by one. So this is going to be the most goriest movie in my top 5 list, because I wanted to get all different subject matters. I wanted to get spooky, I wanted to get scary, I wanted to get eerie. So this is going to be the brutal. So you are going to get brutal, but I mean, it's not very realistic. It's great makeup effect, it's great special effects, it's great classical effects, but you can obviously distinguish that it's a film, and the kiddos won't be disturbed. I mean, I grew up on this shit, so I don't know about y'all, but watching it now, it's not as creepy. But yeah, a great number pick. Technically, it's an alien film, possession type film. You're gonna see some gore, but it's really hidden well with as a cinematic feel. Now, my number 1 pick, which I should highly recommend everyone go out and watch if you haven't seen it. It is Ridley Scott's Alien. Alien. The crew of a spacecraft Nostromo intercept a distress signal from a planet and set out to investigate it. However, to their horror, they are attacked by an alien which later invades their ship. Now, this is everything combined into one. You got really good writing, you got really good storytelling, you have amazing characters, great acting. It is a horror movie, it is scary, but it doesn't feel like one of those like 80s like low budget slasher films. This is a good budget, and it's a Ridley Scott film, so you know he's gonna have great writing and great character development. There is gore to a point. It's not the goriest film. It's a pretty dark film, and I actually have it right here. I have it on 4K Blu-ray, and it's absolutely amazing to watch. So if you want to watch that, I highly recommend this movie. I think the most sexual you're gonna get is when the first scene when Ripley is coming out and she's half naked. You're going to sleep. You're not going to sleep in a 3-piece suit or in a dress. You're gonna go to sleep in your underwear and that stuff. So you're gonna see some nipple action, but it's not. It's not the worst thing you'll find. So yeah, what do you guys think of my top 5 lists? So we have Sinister, the It remake, The Omen, The Thing, and Alien. Now, I highly recommend all these films. These are all great films. These aren't exploitation films. You're not going to see super bloody gore and blood spurting everywhere and heads and all that stuff. You are going to see some with The Thing. But I mean, if you're okay with that, because I feel like for most parents, they don't want to show their kids sexual themes, especially here in the West. You're not going to want to show like hardcore sex scenes like in Halloween or like in Friday the 13th. I was going to add in Nightmare on Elm Street, but it is pretty bloody and brutal, and if you're watching with your kids, they might not want to go to sleep, so I kind of removed that option. But again, that is a great option for if you sit down with your kids and say, hey, this is just a movie. There is no such thing as Freddy Krueger. He's not going to invade your dreams. You should be good. Like, you should, like, I feel like they should understand you and where you're at, because at the end of the day, I feel like any horror film will not traumatize, but like it'll stick with your kid because it is an emotional reaction. And if you're not emotionally reacted to something, that doesn't really stick with you. So yeah, so what do you think about my 5 picks? Let me know down below, what are your 5 picks for SFW, or not SFW, but at least horror picks that you should watch with your family down below. Please leave a like if you like, subscribe to watch more content of mine. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, night, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And please, 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 in these times, in these uncertain times, stay safe and God bless. Cheers, guys.